happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to see this one, as we got the deranged ABC The View host, aka the Spew host, Sunny Hostin, once again showing us why she too will be receiving that Joy Reid treatment because of the things that come out of her mouth, guys. I'm excited to get into it. Call her out, so we're not straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
The theme of what she really had to say today was not giving up.
Yeah.
I think that's right. What did you make of her message?
Look, I think there are some of us, like the 92% of Black women that voted not necessarily in our self-interest, but voted for the collective, that are tired, that are feeling these attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion, that are feeling these attacks on our communities, and are looking and saying, look at what you voted for, you know, because
Alrighty, guys, I'm sorry, we're only 20 seconds in, but talk about being tired of. We're tired of Sunny Hostin dragging race into every single take that she has. Oh my goodness, it's disgusting.
On our communities, and are looking and saying, look at what you voted for, you know, because that voting constituency is dragging us all down. And so I think that there certainly is a time, was a time for rest, but it's been, you know, a month, and it's gotten so chaotic and it's gotten so destructive that I think now is the time to organize. Now is the time to have an organized message. Now is the time to just educate people on what is behind the facts. You know, I think our job, at least on The View, is to definitely be fact-based, but to explain the facts to people. At least that's how I perceive it.
Most facts don't need any explanation. You just give folks. That's what I do, at least. I come out here, I give you guys the facts, and I let you guys interpret it for yourselves. But on the set of ABC's The View, they're gonna go ahead and inject their opinions into every single fact, or twist and contort it to be a whole different narrative. That's all that she's basically saying right there, guys. We can't sit here and give you straight facts. We have to put a little spin on it as well.
Necessarily think it's an opinion. I think it needs to be informative. And I think that's what she was talking about. Like, when you hear about federal employees being cut, yeah, they cut the wrong people haphazardly, and so bird flu is rampant, and you're going to cut the people that are doing the research to prevent the bird flu. You could get sick and God forbid be hospitalized because of that.
Oh my goodness, guys. Now she's trying to say Donald Trump, his administration, is responsible for bird flu? Give me a break.
Everything, I think, is very unnerving.
Well,
I think
the speed and the sloppiness of it. It's very sloppy. It's very messy. But to be clear, this is what he promised to do on day one.
Yeah, I think I'm not surprised it's happening. I'm surprised it's happening in what feels so haphazard.
Yeah, well, when you hire incompetent people and your goal is to destroy government for the purpose of corporate profit and basically privatize government or take advantage of government contracts and bankrupt governments, then this is how it's done, and this is what happens. I mean, it was outlined in Project 2025, which, I mean, I don't know how much more I could have said from at least this platform and just amongst friends about what
and you
was
weren't alone.
contained
A lot
in
of people were talking about it, but
he's doing exactly what Project 2025 projected the plan to be.
Yeah.
So pathetic, guys. When they've got nothing else to reach and grab at, they grab at that Project 2025 to try to fearmonger and scare the little bit of viewership that they still have into believing that Donald Trump is really trying to end democracy. He's a threat to our current state of our nation. We've seen he's done nothing but try to clean it up. I don't get it.
What Project 2025 projected the plan to be.
Yeah. We mentioned James Carville in Senator Klobuchar's segment, and the reason we did that is because he said that Democrats just need to wait and see what happens. I know you feel differently about that, but he also predicts that the Republican Party will implode in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree that with with President Trump's approval ratings being lower at this time in the administration than the past 70 years of the presidency, I think that's a pretty big signal. I mean, 70 years.
Talking about
who is making this up as far as Donald Trump's approval rate amongst his voters? I will say it's got to be high because he has done nothing short of what he's promised out there on that campaign trail. It's night and day versus the Biden regime. There are false promises that they made on the campaign trail that never came to fruition. I just don't get it how they make these stats up. Where are they getting this data about Donald Trump's approval rate being the lowest in the last 70 years? I don't believe that.
I think that's a pretty big signal. I mean, 70 years.
Is that
talking
accurate?
about
70 years.
Yes, a Gallup poll, I believe. So when I look at that, and I look at all these town halls, and I look at all these posts where people are saying, I voted for Trump and I just lost my job, I think many people didn't think it would affect them. Now that we're seeing that effect, and we're seeing people at town halls saying, we didn't vote for this, the midterms are not, very far away. And as Senator Klobuchar made very clear, you only needed 2 Republicans to stand up to stop this in the House. And so 2 Republicans at least will lose their seats because of this. And so will it start imploding? Yeah, because they were put there by the people, and they're supposed to be for the people and of the people, but they are not. They are bending the knee to really someone that has, so many conflicts of interest and self-interest that's just not how the government's supposed to run. So I would agree with that. And to be honest with you, there's a piece of me that agrees with James Carville, that, you sit back and you let the Republican Party take responsibility for what's going on. And Senator Klobuchar said that, at 4 a.m., they're saying, okay, what about 10 million? No, we don't want we want tax breaks for those people. What about 100 million, 500 million? They want those tax breaks. Get them on the record and let the record reflect that this was of their doing. They have a trifecta, the White House.
Right.
They've got the House.
There's
they
no
have
one
the
to blame
Senate.
for anything
There's
right
no
now.
one else to blame. They arguably have the judiciary, right, with this conservative-leaning Supreme Court. In my view, I think there's a part of the Democratic Party that when you have these votes, they need to hold the line, and everybody needs to vote together against some of these just terrible laws that are going to affect everyday people. I think there's something to that.
We talked about Jane Fonda on the show today, defending the word woke. It's something you've been doing on the show for a very long time. And we've been talking about DEI initiatives a lot on our show. What is the biggest misconception in your mind about DEI? Because I have to be honest, I'm not surprised at the actions that were taken. I'm surprised that it's trickled into the private sector so quickly.
My understanding of diversity, equity, and inclusion is not that, there's this myth of a lack of meritocracy, that people that are diverse, that are getting these opportunities are less qualified than those people that should be in those positions. And let's be clear, they're talking about minorities. Minorities shouldn't be in these positions, and they're only getting these positions or only getting into elite colleges because of their race. But what's interesting to me about it is they're getting rid of, let's say, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the head of Brown.
Okay.
He's a 4-star general, but they're replacing him with a 3-star general white man. Why is he?
Once again, she's going to bring race into it. It's got nothing to do with it, guys. I can't wait to show you. Let's just listen to what she has to say.
But they're replacing him with a 3-star general white man. Why is he more qualified than the 4-star general? I mean, that's the easiest thing. Someone that has 4 stars is more qualified than someone that has 3 stars. And they are, I think, to be clear, getting rid of him because he's a black man.
Sunny Hostin just cannot move or see past race. She brings it into every single take that she has. She's going to bring it in and say that the only reason this is happening is because this is a black man, this is a minority. She has got that victimhood. It's embedded into her brain, guys. I've got to show you this clip. Scott Jennings breaking it down why Donald Trump decided to go away from the former General Brown Check this one out, y'all.
I'm looking forward to hearing my conservative friends speak out.
Scott, our conservative friend, speak out.
Yeah, I'll give you a good reason, because this person serves at the pleasure of the president. This is the principal military advisor to the president. And I don't, Van, necessarily think he had to have done anything wrong or had to have had a scandal or have any kind of mark against him at all. It's just that the president wants to have the most confidence in his principal military advisor. Obviously, he wants to pick somebody else. And there shouldn't be anything wrong with that, because under our Constitution, we have a civilian-led military, and the president is the commander-in-chief, and he should have the principal military advisor that he wants. I don't think there's anything wrong at all with General Brown. I think he has served this country honorably. I think he's a good man. And you might remember back in the first Trump term, he was promoted and nominated to be the head of the Air Force by Donald Trump. So obviously Trump has liked him in the past and thinks he's had an amazing career, and he even put out a positive statement about him tonight. But at the end of the day, this is a position that serves at the pleasure of the president. The president's Donald Trump, and he deserves to have the top advisors that he wants and that he has the most confidence in.
So I'm looking for.
Boom, right there, guys. It just makes the most sense. These folks are so entitled on the left. You know, the same folks that are being laid off or getting cut based off, you know, Doge's findings. And they're freaking out saying that, hey, I lost my job. I didn't expect this, how the world is ending. You know how many folks get laid off a year or just get let go? Simply just don't have a job. I mean, they don't have to really put you on notice. Guys, don't even get me started on their entitlement. I'm going to leave that for another video. What I do have to show you next is Caroline Leavitt breaking it down as well. And she's not going to beat around the bush. She is straight to the point on why Donald Trump has moved away from General Brown. Check this one out, y'all.
I wanted to ask you about them. One was the president replacing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General C.Q. Brown Jr. What was the reason for the president naming a replacement for General Brown? And then I'll follow up with another personnel announcement that's been made over the last few days.
He thinks he's doing a bad job, and it's time for a shakeup at the Pentagon. They failed 7 audits in a row. The trust in our United States military amongst the war fighters is low. The president is shaking up the Pentagon and the Department of Defense, of course, with Secretary Hegseth leading, and he has the right to do that. It's actually quite common from administration to administration to do such a thing.
I wanted to ask you about them. One was...
That right there is as straightforward as you're going to get. Donald Trump has, it's his ability, it's his choice. He can do what he wants with whatever chairman he wants to appoint. And just because you're a 4-star doesn't mean that you won't get replaced by a non-woke 3-star, guys. Let's get back into it.
Easiest thing. Someone that has 4 stars is more qualified than someone that has 3 stars. And they are, I think, to be clear, getting rid of him because he's a black man. Now, the real truth about diversity, equity, and inclusion is it's not about hiring people that are less competent. It's about giving the most competent people an opportunity at it. For example.
And that right there just doesn't make sense to me, because if, you know, you need DEI to get hired, it means that, you know, maybe your credentials, your merit wasn't standing on enough or hold enough weight for them to bring you in. They had to go and pull out another characteristic, your color, this color of your skin or your race, in order to say, okay, yeah, he fits, he checks all the boxes. We need one of these guys in here. Even if his, you know, merit or his qualifications aren't the best, we'll still take him in because guess what? He's a minority. I would not want that. Just like what MLK said, you know, judge me by the contents of my character, not the color of my skin. But you can see Sonny Hostin wants a free ride.
Giving the most competent people an opportunity at it. For example, I was part of the Department of Justice Honors Program. That's how I got my...
No surprise that Sonny Hostin was part of a DEI program, by the way.
Example, I was part of the Department of Justice Honors Program. That's how I got my first job with the Department of Justice Antitrust Division. It is a fully merit-based program. And I would not have had that opportunity but for the fact that they were looking at other pools of people. In particular, they were looking for people that were bilingual, and I happen to be bilingual. That was very helpful because I acted as a translator sometimes for the Antitrust Division. That being said, they just got rid of the honors program because they called it a diversity initiative program. You can't even apply to the program unless you've met a certain GPA standard.
Right.
That's purely merit. And so I think what this is about is really the myth of meritocracy.
Which is something you've talked about for years.
Yeah, there's a myth of meritocracy in this country, and it's never been a meritocracy. It's been an ethnocracy, actually. It's been about white, mediocre men that are given opportunities. It's about legacy admissions. It's
now, if anyone else, I just want to because it doesn't sound crazy, but it sounds so crazy to me. If anyone else, think about if it was a white man sitting in that chair and he said, black women's mediocrity is acceptable within this. Think about that. How precious that sounds. I just want to paint that picture for you guys because it's Sunny Hostin saying it may not sound as bad, but to me, I'm like, oh my goodness, how does she keep getting away with this? Listen to her, y'all.
Meritocracy. It's been an ethnocracy, actually. It's been about white, mediocre men that are given opportunities. It's about legacy admissions. It's you don't, have to be excellent. You have to be average if you're white. If you are black, your average must be excellent in order to compete. I don't want to rely on the benevolence of a Donald Trump, who the Justice Department found wouldn't let black people live in his buildings. I don't want to rely upon the benevolence of an Elon Musk who grew up in apartheid South Africa. I don't want to rely on that. Was
that irrelevant points? One of them she lied. The other one was completely irrelevant. It didn't, have anything to do with Elon Musk and his credibility. When would she give this narrative a break? She's only saying this because it's Donald Trump. No one was saying this about Elon 2 years ago or a year ago.
In apartheid South Africa, I don't want to rely on that. I want the opportunity, simply the opportunity to compete, just the opportunity to compete. And that's what diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are. And by the way, studies show that those companies that embrace diversity, equity, inclusion do better. They make more money. People are happier there. They're reflective of the country. And so anyone that isn't, in my opinion, supportive of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, I think they either don't lack the facts or don't care
about
other people.
The View is
don't care about other people. Let's talk about it, guys. And I'm going to stop it right there. Sunny Hostin once again showing us how far disconnected from reality she truly is. I mean, I can't wrap my mind around some of the things that allow her to get up here and say on the set this show. Honestly, would not be surprised to see she gets Jim Acosta or Joy Reided very soon. If it's not her alone, it'll be the whole entire show. She's bringing down the house with the things that she says. I mean, it's completely prejudiced. Anyone else of any race could not get away with half the things that she says, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, sorry, this was a little bit long, but I had to get it out there. Call her on her stuff. I mean, she was saying so many crazy things. Just bizarre. I had to call her out, guys. Let me know what you're thinking. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.